What's up, guys? You're welcome to David Data Channel once again, where we talk about data science, productivity, and faith. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a skill I consider to be the most important data skill to learn in your data journey. The journey towards becoming a data professional is not a sprint, you must understand that. It's a marathon. That means to say that learning one particular skill does not make you a data professional. But learning this particular skill will increase your chances towards becoming a data professional. Reason is because this skill is a skill that is widely used, widely in demand, and everywhere. And what is this skill? This skill is learning how to use SQL. Like I mentioned to Opeyemi in my last video about analytics engineering, if you've not seen the video, it's a very insightful talk with Opeyemi Fabi. You can check it out in the link above and the link in the description below. I told him that I was in shock when I got to industry and I realized that these guys are doing more of SQL than Python because there was so much buzz about Python for data science, Python for data analysis, and I learned so much Python using pandas, numpy. Even when I could not use it, I just had to push myself into it, right? To understand the nuances around Python for data analysis. But then I got to industry and realized that these guys are doing more of SQL. And I was shocked. I was like, why did nobody tell me about SQL? Why? And that's what I'm doing for you right now. Like, I want you to know that, Oga, Madam, improve on your SQL, right? SQL is like really, really important. So, what is SQL? SQL means structured query language. So, people call it CQ, SQL, whichever way you call it, it is structured query language. It's the language you use to interact with your databases. A lot of organizations today have data, and this data are stored somewhere, right? Where is data stored? They're either stored in spreadsheets, take it or you leave it, in spreadsheets, or in databases, right? And you interact with databases using SQL. Now, databases could be relational or non-relational. Relational like MySQL, SQL Server, Postgres, meaning that they have tables that are joined by several relationships, either in the primary key or the foreign keys, right? Or non-relational databases like MongoDB that are in JSON format and arrays and nested arrays and all that, right? But at the end of the day, most of all of these data are stored in tables, rows, and columns. And once they're in databases, you can only pull out this data using SQL. Now, okay, I wouldn't say only because right now you're able to integrate Python, you're able to integrate JavaScript into your databases and then run queries using Python scripts and Python codes, right? That is very true. But by and large, a lot of organizations still use and depend on SQL. And that is why it's important for you to learn and improve on your SQL. My expectation is after viewing this video, you take actionable steps to improve on your SQL as much as you improve on your Python and every other data skill required in data industry. All right, so I'm going to give us 3 reasons why you need to improve on your SQL. Number one, SQL is everywhere. Everywhere you go. Yeah, SQL is everywhere. Everywhere you go. Like I said, take it or leave it. Every organization, okay, almost every organization store their data in spreadsheets or in databases. FANG companies, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, small companies, banks, organizations, they store their data in databases and interact with databases using SQL. Even most of the data products that we have today coming to the industry are either built on SQL or a derivative of SQL. Think about the rise of data warehouses, data lakes, right? A data warehouse like BigQuery is built on SQL. Definitely you can interact with it Python, yeah, but then it's fundamentally built on SQL. Think of Snowflake as the data warehouse, SQL. Okay, think of DBT for data transformation, SQL, right? Almost every new data product is built on SQL. And like Opeyemi said in that conversation, he said nobody wants to bring in a data product that will require you to relearn new skills. So they build their products on already existing skills. SQL has been there since a very long time and it will still remain in the future. And so this is why you need to improve on your SQL. You looking for organizations looking to recruit, SQL is part of it, right? So really, guys, SQL is the in thing, is everywhere. It's not like it's a new thing. It's not like a buzzword like Python or R that's just coming up. It has been there, and it is there, and it will still be there. So, guys, you need to trump up on your SQL skills. Point number two is that SQL is in high demand. The need for the skill is in high demand because these databases are built around SQL. The need for people who can interact with them is very high. SQL has been around for a very long time and is a major skill requirement for most job postings. In May 2021, there were about 217,000 unique job postings on SQL. 217,000 unique job postings on SQL requiring SQL as a requiring SQL as a skill for that job. Now, for context purposes, HTML and CSS, which is like a bedrock for web development, like highly useful, just had about at the same time had about 100,000 unique job postings. So that tells us that SQL is in high demand by top employers. Every industry, they are in need of SQL users. What are the major job roles around SQL? I'm bringing it down to the data space. We have software engineers, but aside that we have data scientists, data analysts, business intelligence officer, machine learning engineers. All these guys, right? SQL is required, even including machine learning. Now, as you're learning Python for your machine learning, also know that a lot of these are cloud solutions like Azure Cloud Solution, AWS. They've been able to integrate you to be able to write machine learning models using SQL. So you're not limited to Python or Arrow. You can now write your machine learning models with SQL. So you would that's to tell that someone who has already built his career all around SQL in the past without getting to learn Python will be able to do his machine learning right with SQL. So guys, like, it's very, very important. And number three is that SQL is among the first four languages according to Stack Overflow's survey for 2021. Looking at the result of the survey from Stack Overflow, you have JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, Python, and then SQL. And this is the first time Python is topping SQL in these surveys, right? Python is at 48%, SQL is at 47%. This is the first time Python is topping SQL. And in my opinion, I feel like perhaps the reason is because lots of data professionals, not just software programmers, are also now beginning to use Python for their analysis and machine learning algorithm and all that. But by and large, SQL is still topping the chart, excluding JavaScript and HTML, which is for like software development and web development and all that. But for the data space, SQL is topping the chart. So guys, you need to like improve on your SQL. You can't say I'm improving on my Python without working on my SQL. You know, in my opinion, looking at from my experience in the industry, I would even advise a beginner to see that, guys, immediately you improve on your Excel. Immediately you've learned how to think analytically and solve problems analytically with Microsoft Excel and spreadsheets. I think the next thing you should learn should be SQL even before you go into Python, right? So guys, these are my top 3 points on why you should learn and improve on your SQL. So wherever you are on your SQL journey, you can always improve. You keep on learning every day. Like I said, data space is constantly evolving, and to stay relevant, you need to keep on learning, relearning, and on learning wherever you are. So for the love of rows and colons, keep on learning your data science, improve your data science, and improving on your SQL skills. Till we meet again in the next video. Thanks, guys. Cheers.